Distress calls echoed through the radio. "We're surrounded!" "Repeat, we're surrounded!" Bullets whistled through the night. No one responded. The SEAL team thought it was over. Then a single gunshot rang out from the darkness. An enemy soldier fell. A cold voice whispered through the radio. "You are not alone." The entire battlefield went silent. Who was out there? The story opens in a training base. Reina Vasquez, 28 years old, long brown hair, European features, sharp, cold eyes, slender but resilient frame. She worked logistics, looked down upon by new SEALs. Just handles ammunition supply, doesn't know anything about battlefields. When SEALs went to the shooting range, they mocked, "Can you even hit a target at 800 meters?" Reina just smiled, silently cleaned up shell casings. A young soldier accidentally bumped her shoulder, dismissively. "Master Sniper?" That's just an old story. Kraken Unit was disbanded. Reina didn't react, just quietly gripped the silver Kraken keychain hanging on her backpack. What the soldiers didn't understand was that Reina's silence wasn't weakness. It was operational discipline. She had learned in environments where unnecessary noise could compromise missions and endanger lives. Her logistics role wasn't career limitation, it was deliberate cover that allowed her to remain connected to military service while maintaining the anonymity necessary for someone with her background. The way she moved around equipment revealed training that went far beyond supply management. Her movements were economical, purposeful, designed for efficiency under pressure that most people would never experience. During quiet moments, Reina would unconsciously calculate distances, wind patterns, and trajectory adjustments. These weren't conscious behaviors. They were ingrained habits from years of operating in environments where such assessments could mean the difference between mission success and catastrophic failure. The mockery she endured from elite units like the SEALs wasn't just about gender or role assumptions. It was about people's inability to recognize expertise that had been deliberately hidden for operational security reasons. Her colleagues saw her methodical approach to equipment maintenance as obsessive attention to detail. They didn't recognize it as the behavioral pattern of someone who had learned that in combat situations, equipment failure wasn't just professional embarrassment. It was death. The silver Kraken keychain she carried wasn't just personal memorabilia. It was a tangible connection to service that had shaped her entire understanding of warfare, sacrifice, and the price of protecting others. Her patient acceptance of their dismissive treatment came from understanding that respect earned through action was more valuable than respect demanded through reputation. She was waiting for the moment when her capabilities would speak louder than their assumptions. The reference to disbanded units and old stories revealed how thoroughly her previous service had been erased from official records, but also how legends persisted in whispered conversations among those who had witnessed extraordinary capabilities. An old teammate whispered, "She once shot through a helmet at 1,400 meters. I saw it." But no one believed. The next night, the SEAL unit received orders for a raid in Batu Hills Forest. Reina accompanied them in a logistics support role. The mission quickly fell into chaos. SEALs were ambushed by forces twice their size. Radio continuously broadcast distress signals, but no one responded. A young soldier screamed, "We're finished!" No air support, no extraction. Reina was ordered to stay in the rear, not to engage. She sat by the radio, listening to her teammates' calls for help growing weaker. In that moment, she opened her ammunition case, quietly assembled an old M200 intervention rifle, a weapon no one thought she knew how to use. At the front line, enemies closed in. SEALs tried to return fire, but the enemy firepower was too heavy. Suddenly, a shot from distance pierced straight through an enemy sniper's helmet. The SEAL team was stunned. The commander asked hoarsely over radio, "Who fired that?" Radio crackled with a short phrase, "Hold steady. I'm here." What the SEAL team was experiencing wasn't luck or coincidence. The precision of that shot revealed expertise that could only come from extensive experience with long-range precision shooting under combat conditions. The distance from which the shot had come, estimated at over 1,200 meters, was beyond the capability of standard military marksmen. This was precision shooting at a level that required specialized training and extensive field experience. The tactical positioning of their mysterious protector demonstrated understanding of battlefield dynamics that came from experience with high-stakes operations where split-second decisions determined outcomes. "That wasn't a standard military shot," the team leader observed, beginning to understand that their unseen guardian possessed capabilities that exceeded conventional training. The communication discipline demonstrated by their protector, minimal radio traffic, precise information, no unnecessary chatter, revealed training in covert operations where operational security was paramount. The M200 intervention rifle that Reina had assembled was more than just equipment. It was a precision instrument that required extensive training to operate effectively at long range under combat conditions. Her ability to remain undetected while providing overwatch demonstrated fieldcraft that characterized the most elite special operations units. She was conducting a coordinated rescue operation while maintaining complete tactical invisibility. The enemy's growing confusion about the source of precise fire indicated that Reina was using advanced techniques to mask her position and maintain operational advantage. "Whoever that is knows exactly where we are and what we need," one SEAL whispered to his teammate, recognizing that their mysterious ally was providing more than random support. As additional enemy positions were eliminated with surgical precision, the SEAL team began to recognize that they were witnessing capabilities that went far beyond standard sniper training. Each shot was placed with exactitude that suggested not just technical skill, but also intimate knowledge of enemy tactics, weapon systems, and behavioral patterns that came from extensive combat experience. The reference to double-shift wind technique indicated specialized training that was available only to the most elite marksmen, suggesting that their protector had background in classified programs. A SEAL whispered, "I saw her silhouette on the cliff face." Couldn't believe it. But that was definitely her. The realization was dawning that they weren't just receiving help from a skilled marksman, but from someone whose identity and capabilities had been hidden from them despite working in close proximity. Reina began her performance in the darkness. The first shot extinguished fear. The second, third, each target fell silently. The entire battlefield paused. Enemies panicked. "There's a marksman hunting us!" SEALs looked up, saw a muzzle flash flickering on the high cliff face. The commander recognized this wasn't ordinary shooting. This was double-shift wind technique. Only Kraken Unit master snipers were trained in this. Reina's past was revealed. She had belonged to Kraken Unit, a secret counterintelligence force disbanded after a failed mission. In the files, her codename, Silent Hawk, had disappeared. But now, each bullet was rewriting everything. When the SEAL commander was severely wounded, Reina radioed, "Count my heartbeat. I'll clear the path." Exactly 6 shots, 6 targets down, opening an escape corridor. The entire team was saved. The young soldier who had once mocked her fell silent, looking up at the mountaintop where moonlight reflected off a slender silhouette. What the SEAL team had witnessed wasn't just exceptional marksmanship, it was the systematic application of skills that had been developed and tested under the most classified conditions imaginable. The double-shift wind technique that the commander had recognized wasn't just advanced shooting. It was a method developed specifically for Kraken Unit operations, where shots had to be made under conditions that would defeat conventional sniping approaches. Silent Hawk wasn't just a code name. It was a legend in special operations circles. Stories circulated about impossible shots made under combat conditions, about missions where a single sniper had changed the course of entire operations. The failed mission that had led to Kraken Unit's disbandment wasn't just operational setback. It was one of the most dangerous covert operations of the past decade, where political considerations had overridden tactical reality and cost lives. Reina's erasure from official records hadn't been administrative oversight. It was deliberate protection for someone whose skills made her a high-value target for enemy forces seeking revenge for operations that officially never happened. "How many operations have you been part of?" the wounded commander asked through gritted teeth. Reina's voice came through the radio, steady despite the chaos around her. "Enough to know when good people need protection." Her response revealed the ethical foundation that had driven her service. Personal recognition was secondary to mission success, and the most important victories were often the ones that remained classified. The 6 precise shots that had opened their escape route weren't just tactical excellence. They were evidence of capabilities that had been proven in environments where failure meant death, not just for the operator, but for everyone depending on their success. The M200 intervention rifle she was using represented more than just equipment. It was a precision instrument that she had mastered through operations in conditions that would have broken most people. Her ability to coordinate the rescue while maintaining shooting positions demonstrated tactical expertise that went beyond individual marksmanship to encompass battlefield command and control capabilities. "Why did you leave active service?" one SEAL asked as they prepared for extraction. Reina was quiet for a moment. "Because I wanted to save people without having to become someone I didn't want to be." Her confession revealed the psychological complexity of elite military service. Despite her extraordinary capabilities, she had chosen to step away from active operations, seeking a way to serve that didn't require constant moral compromise. The logistics role she had chosen wasn't career limitation, it was intentional transition to a position where her skills could be available for defensive operations, while allowing her to distance herself from offensive missions. Tonight's rescue had forced her back into the role she had been trying to leave behind, but it had also demonstrated that some capabilities couldn't be permanently retired when lives were at stake. As extraction helicopters approached, the SEAL team's expressions reflected more than gratitude. They were experiencing awe at having been rescued by someone whose achievements had become part of military legend. The young soldier, who had mocked her earlier, approached the radio. "Silent Hawk. I'm sorry. I didn't know." Reina's response was characteristically modest. "You weren't supposed to know. That was the point." After the SEALs were evacuated by helicopter, Reina remained lying on the cliff face, eyes looking through the scope. She didn't accept medals, didn't report her actions. The SEAL commander, after recovering, told his teammates, "That night, we didn't survive by luck. We survived, thanks to someone the world had forgotten." News spread through the unit. There was an unnamed marksman who had saved the team. The soldier community began searching for the Kraken ghost, but Reina had already left, leaving only the silver Kraken keychain on the broken radio. The transformation in unit culture was immediate and profound. Reina's intervention had demonstrated that the most critical expertise often belonged to the most overlooked people, and that assumptions about capability could have life-or-death consequences. Her refusal to accept recognition sent a powerful message about the nature of true service. While others sought advancement and acknowledgement, Reina had chosen to honor fallen comrades through continued protection of those who needed it. The keychain she left behind became more than just a memento. It became a symbol of service that prioritized others' safety over personal recognition, duty over glory. Search efforts for the Kraken ghost revealed how thoroughly classified operations had erased the identities of their most effective operators. Personnel who had served in special operations began sharing stories about legendary figures whose achievements had been hidden for security reasons. Training programs throughout the military began incorporating new respect for support personnel, recognizing that expertise might be distributed throughout their ranks in ways that official records didn't capture. The SEAL team's account of their rescue became required reading for special operations units, not as tactical instruction, but as reminder that heroism often came from unexpected sources. Medical staff noted improvements in how military personnel treated each other, particularly in interactions between different specialties and ranks. Reina's example had shown that true capability wasn't always reflected in official positions. The broken radio where she had left the keychain was preserved as unofficial memorial to all classified operators whose service couldn't be publicly acknowledged. 6 months later, when another unit faced similar crisis, personnel approached the situation with new understanding that help might come from sources they hadn't considered, that expertise existed in places they hadn't recognized. The legend of Silent Hawk became part of military folklore, passed down through unofficial channels as reminder that the most important protectors were often the most invisible ones. Her influence extended beyond individual rescue to create culture where excellence was recognized regardless of its source, where assumptions about capability were questioned rather than accepted. Type: I will live kindly. If you believe that silent heroes also deserve to be remembered forever. Reina's story isn't just about a marksman. It reminds us that often those who are overlooked and pushed aside are the ones who carry true strength. They don't need titles, don't need glory, just the moment to do what's right. Out there may still be Reinas silently keeping the world safer, though no one knows their names. And sometimes, one right action in the darkness can change the fate of an entire group. Her journey teaches us that the most dangerous assumption we can make is that someone's current role represents their ultimate capabilities. People carry experiences, skills, and readiness that may be invisible until the moment when extraordinary action is required. The real lesson isn't about military tactics or precision shooting. It's about recognizing that heroes often choose anonymity over recognition, that the most valuable people are frequently the most overlooked, and that our assumptions about others can blind us to the protectors among us. Sometimes the person quietly doing support work in the background is carrying the capability to save everyone when crisis strikes, waiting for the moment when their skills are truly needed. If you believe in stories that touch the heart like this one, leave a comment. And don't forget to subscribe to SN Quiet Stories. We tell the stories that shouldn't be forgotten. Real people are creating and telling stories, not mass-produced AI content.